All right, everyone. If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. Go ahead, Chase.
Scott, first of all, obviously that one kind of got away from you guys in the third quarter, and then the fourth they ran away with it. What do you think turned the tides for them?
Well, I mean, before I answer that question, I gotta give credit to Doc and his staff and Philadelphia 76ers, their basketball team. They're very talented. They're the number one seed for a reason. Great organization. Their fan base is phenomenal. I mean, except for, Popcorn Boy. Other than that, it was a great experience for us. A couple of things got away from us, but I'm reflecting as much as I can without thinking too much, but we couldn't stop fouling them. And then Curry got hot in that third quarter. He made some tough shots and against one of our feisty defenders. Simmons is, I don't know if he's going to get Defensive Player of the Year, but I think he's Defensive Player of the Year. Not too many guys can guard 1 through 5. And he can guard 1 through 5. I mean, there's some guys that can guard one position and do it well, but there's only a handful of guys that can do it like he does. But we couldn't get any rhythm offensively. But like I said, give them credit. They did a heck of a job.
And of course, you guys have been eliminated. Your season, as memorable as it was, is over. What's your reaction to it being done?
Well, I mean, I never really thought about it going up until the last, 10 minutes or so. But I'm proud of our guys. I talked to them after the game, and Russell and Bradley spoke up. And they nailed it. It was spot on. We should be proud of what we accomplished. We had a lot of stuff that happened to us. We made a transition a couple of years ago. Tommy took over and we wanted to change things up. And I know it's working because what Russell and Brad said, it is right where we need to go. And unfortunate part that, we wanted to keep building and put ourselves in the next step. And we did that. We made the playoffs this year. Unfortunately, Denny did not get the playoff experience, or even TB for that matter. Because you need a playoff experience. You just do. It's just part of it. This is a very tough environment, and the level of intensity goes up. And you got to be able to feel it. You can watch it, you can see it, you can talk about it, but you got to feel it. And our guys, everybody up other than those two guys, got that experience. So I'm proud of our guys' effort. I'm proud of everything they've done this year that put ourselves in this position. You guys know a lot of things that happen, but not all the things that happen. And it's pretty incredible that we've just kept fighting and plugging away and not making any excuses, because we had a lot of excuses to make. I did, they did, but we never let each other do that. And that's what I love about the group. There's no drama. There's no drama this year. There's no drama. We were just ballers, man. We just wanted to get better. Everybody came to work and did their job. And I love coaching this team. I've coached a lot of teams now, but this team was fun because they competed for one another and they just wanted to play basketball. Unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of opportunity to even practice. But that's what this season was about. Just figure things out together. But it was, other than the feeling I have not playing in front of our home crowd one more night, I'm proud of what we've accomplished. Making the playoffs where, they had us 0.006 or whatever percent that is, and I thought that was maybe my scoring average. But other than that, it was pretty cool that we fought through it and made it.
Fred.
Scott, I don't know, what we're going to be doing for moving forward, but where do you stand right now in terms of your future with the organization and if you want to be back?
Say that again.
Where do you stand right now with your future with the organization and if you want to be back now that the season's done?
No, I love it here. It's not there's no decision in my mind. I love it here. I've gotten to know Ted and his family and the ownership group, and what I saw the first, 3.5 years was really incredible. And then I don't know what exact date that was, March 10th, right after the Knick game, when COVID suspended play. That's when I really saw what great ownership is about. And I saw it firsthand, and he made every decision based on our team, our employees, our people, and that's what a good organization is about. It's not about nothing but the people. And what I saw there, I wouldn't want to move on. I love it here. Love the city. Family loves it. But like I said, it's for a later time, and we focused on the season this year, and that was more important than anything. But what I saw firsthand is that's what leadership is about. I've learned a lot about being a leader by seeing how they led. And Tommy's given me a great opportunity. Like I said, I love the guys. We have nothing but good guys that want to play hard and play for one another, and that's special. And we're not experienced right now, but we gain a lot of experience by playing against a playoff savvy team. Look at all those guys on that team. They're all, maybe except the one, Tyrese Korkmaz played a bunch of big games overseas, but all their guys, they've had a lot of playoff tough moments, but they fought through it and came back the next year a little bit better. Team's ready to win. Hopefully Embiid is going to come back healthy. They're going to be hard to beat.
DA.
Hey, Scott. I know you're still, in the process of processing this game, but when you look at your team, whether it's from within who's there now, or if it has to come from elsewhere, what's the next step? What's the next step for this group to kind of be able to compete and get to the playoffs as a given, and then maybe have a chance to advance?
Yeah, I mean, that's the next level. Yeah, you want to get there, and then all of a sudden you want to give yourself a chance. We wanted to get here. Now the next step. We have two big time players that are still have a lot of basketball left. Brad is, what is it? I think Brad's 27 still. He's been in the league, and every year he's gotten better. Look what he's done. The year before I got here, I think it was 16, 17 points a game. Now, the last 2 years, he was second in the league in scoring, led the East in scoring, and should have made the All-Star team all 5 times. And Russell still has a lot of good basketball left in him. We have some young players that are going to get better, and the experience that they got here was huge. And then we got a draft pick that we've done well there. We have a lot of opportunities. To Tommy and his staff are going to do what's best for the organization, and we have a good base moving forward. I like what we have. We have a lot of good young players. We have 2 star players, and we got some room to add more players. And every team, you don't come back the same group. I know that. The players know that. We've been in the league long enough. If you want a championship, maybe you do, but we have opportunities to improve our team. I'm looking forward to being a part of it, but I trust Tommy and his staff to figure ways to get us better. But Rui's definitely on. He's trending pretty good. I like how he's improved, and he's stepped up through he had some unfortunate luck on his part, but he just keeps playing. He wants to get better. Denny, fortunately for him, he was out, but midsummer he'll be back, and don't know what's going to happen with summer league, but he's a worker. But then we got another young player, and Gaff is really, I don't even know why. I'm sure I'm going to have an exit meeting the next day or two, but Gaff is, to me, is like a lottery pick. We got like a top 5 pick. He's a young player with a couple of years left on his deal, but I can't wait to see his improvement and work with him all summer long.
Ava.
Scott, Brad always said heading into this season that he wanted to see that the Wizards could be a winning organization. You've obviously had many more conversations with him than we have about what he considers or how he defines that. Do you feel like you guys have done enough to kind of show him that, yes, you can be a winner in Washington?
Well, I think this has gotten a lot of credit. I mean, a lot of talk, and to me, it was the biggest part when Tommy took over. Brad saw something that he was very comfortable signing an extension. So he's our organization. His work ethic, his professionalism. Now he has Russell right there, and his work ethic, his his drive, determination. It's pretty cool to really see those two guys' relationship just grow. And I knew it wouldn't be an issue, but nobody else did. But I had an inside track. I knew both of them very well. I love them. I love both their families, and I love how they. There was plenty of times they both told their teammates, wake up at times, but there's been many times they've taken them out to dinner and showed them how to be pros. And when you have those two guys leading your organization, now Tommy and myself's job is to grow the team organically and get them better. And our young guys got an experience and keep improving their level of play, their basketball knowledge, and that comes through experience, and add a piece or two or three or four pieces here and there, and we're going to be right back in it where we want to be.
Matt Paris.
Scott, I know you want to be back, and how do you think the end of the season kind of played into that decision? I mean, do you think you made a solid case for yourself that you should be back?
Say that again. You went in and out.
Do you feel like you made a case for yourself the way the guys closed the end of the year that you deserve to be back?
Yeah, you guys don't know me well, but I think you guys know me well enough. I've been blessed. I played over a decade in this league, and nobody thought I would make it. Did it. Won a championship. Assistant coach. Been a head coach. Been some playoff games. Won some playoff series, but I don't worry about my position. I worry about my job of doing it. I worry about doing my job every day. My mom taught me a lot of good lessons in my life, and that's one of them. Do your job, and everything will take care of it. Don't worry about other people complaining about it or the criticism. That's just part of being in my position. That's just part of being a player in this league. It's part of being a coach in this league. It's part of being a general manager, an owner. It's just part of it. Everybody has an opinion, and I like that because that's what I do too. I love sports. I do the same thing with other sports. I do the same thing with other teams, but I love my job. I love the guys I'm working with. I love the team that I'm working with. I love the organization owner, the city. There's nothing, it's not about me. It's about our players. It's always been about our players. And that's all I care about is the guys I work with.
And does the exit process look any different this year because of COVID or anything like that? Like the way the guys would normally meet will you have your normal meeting basically?
No, this was the worst year ever if you like people. It's been great. I even miss you guys. Middle of next year, ask me that question. You might have to go back to Zoom calls. But COVID was hard, but I always look at, I try to keep everything in proper perspective. COVID was hard for all of us NBA, but those are like first world problems. It's not there's a lot of people that lost their jobs, and people have lost family members, and NBA people have lost family members. I have friends that lost their jobs, but it's, we have good ownership, man. We kept going. Look at the financial burden that I'm assuming, I don't know the numbers, but there was no fans. There was no concerts. There was no hockey fans. But Ted and his group took care of everybody, and I thank him for that, and everybody in the organization does the same. But COVID was hard on everybody, but it's not, we're like it's not that, I mean, there's a lot more people in the world that suffer through it, and we have to figure out ways to move forward, and hopefully soon that everything becomes normal and we're back to being, pre-pandemic level. So hopefully that happens soon. Yeah.
Just you there, Candace?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Candace.
Just wondering, because you already mentioned that you had a mission of growing the players organically, you and Tommy. And with such a young roster at the start of the season, did Ted give you the stated goal of playoffs? And to that point, do you think that you overachieved?
I've never looked at it. I just wanted to do my job, and our coaches, I'm proud of them. Like I said, you guys know all the things. It's not common to lose, lose a player to injury and then have COVID hit and not see our guys for 10 days in the middle of January. And then 7 guys missed basically 21 days before they got to play their next game. And then still in the meantime, play 3 or 4 games when you had no chance to win. I mean, I could say it now, but that road trip, that was hard. It was hard, but it was also exciting because I knew we were gonna compete, and we almost won a couple of those games. I think it was San Antonio, Houston, and maybe New Orleans. Even the game coming back against Atlanta and then Brooklyn. I mean, I'm proud of what we've accomplished, but I know I get the questions, but I'm proud of the organization, how they stood up during all these tough decisions that everybody had to make, but they've always talked about the people. I've seen the private meetings. Been in the private meetings. I've seen the private forums that we've had, and I don't want to get into details what was said because it's confidential, but trust me, it was always about the people. And when you work for an organization that's about the people, you don't want to go anywhere else.
Scott Abraham.
Hey, Scott, you've said numerous times this season that this is a special group, a special team. What are you going to remember most about this group, and what do you want fans to appreciate about this group in particular?
I'm going to remember when I saw the report that we had like 0.0, whatever it is, 6% chance to make the playoffs with like 30 games to go. And I think we're like 26 in the league overall. But we did those 5 games segments, and everything kind of turned around, and we've lost some tough games during that time. But even I'm going to remember all the players. That's what I always remember. I've won games as a player, played on every level you can play as a player. I don't even really remember the championship season that we had, but I remember our championship players that I played with and our championship coach that I played for. Just like when I went to the finals, I don't really remember all the things that happened, but I remember our championship players. And that's what life's about, is our memories that you make with one another. And we talk about family and second family, but this is what a good team, it's a brotherhood. There's less than 5,000 NBA players ever in the history of the game. And that's why it's so important for all the players to stick by one another, because it's such a select group and hard to get in. And once you get in, you gotta have, it's a privilege, and you gotta honor that. those players that played before you. But I feel like this group is learning those lessons because we've got really two good leaders that know the history, know how hard it is to make it in this league and to be successful in this league and be a playoff team in this league. And, we've only gone since I've been here in 3 playoffs, but a second round, it's not easy, but it's to me, this experience that we had can help us going into next season. And that's what the guys talked about. We got a lot of work to do this summer. You could take a couple of weeks off, but it's about getting in the lab and coming back a little bit better. And if they can see anything, they can look at Russell's career, the same thing, and they can look at Brad. They have such a similar career. Not too many guys improve every year because they don't want to put the time in, because the NBA gives you a lot of opportunities not to do that. But those two guys improved every year, and that's what we need our younger guys to look at and see that and come back better, and they will.
And Scott, you said it earlier, everybody has an opinion, and unfortunately everybody has an opinion on your future in Washington. Some want you to stay, some believe a change should happen. What is your message to the fans?
I love it here. I mean, I don't get involved in that, guys. I don't. Like I said, my mom taught me a lot of important lessons that negativity doesn't even seep into my mindset. I've always felt that my high school coach, my mom, they always taught me that negativity, everybody that wants to be negative, those are the people that don't want to do the work. They're not focused on doing the work. But the people that are focused on doing the work, they're not negative. They're not trying to bash people. I don't really know what you're talking about other than the question you asked. I just know that what I want, and I love the guys I work with, and I don't get involved in stuff like that. I just focus on doing my job, and that's been pretty good.
All right, last question, Ava.
Scott, for what you guys needed to accomplish this year with the turnaround, how important was it for you to be able to work with a point guard that you have a relationship with, like the one you do with Russell?
It's great. It's great. I mean, Russell changed their culture. He's added to it with Brad. I mean, like I said, I knew they would get along. I knew it's common. Got a common denominator. They're winning basketball players. They're championship basketball players. And I always go back, and this is, people that complain about players that don't win championships don't really know how hard it is to win a championship. They probably never been in that situation, but you win championships by having a championship mindset. And we have 2 guys that are going to teach the rest of the group how to have that mindset. Now, do we win one? A lot of good fortune has to happen, and a lot of development has to happen. But if you have that mindset, that gives you the best chance for making that happen. All right.
All right.
Good.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
Thanks, Scott.
Yep.
Russ, just first of all, what is your initial reaction to this season coming to an end?
Obviously you don't want to lose or go home, but one thing that's important that I emphasize to the guys in the locker room, that by any means we should have our head down. We did something that nobody thought we could even do in the middle of the season, and with that, we should be proud of the way we played this season. We fought through a lot of ups and downs, adversity, injuries, COVID. So we should be proud of the way we, as a team collectively, fought. That's a good team on the other side, and good luck to them.
I'm interested, when you joined this team, obviously it was pretty late in the offseason. Training camp how did the way it went and end, I guess, how did the way it end measure up to the expectations that you had kind of set for this team in your own mind when you first
I just wanted to come to a place and change the culture, bring my energy, my leadership, and make the guys around here better. And I feel like I was able to accomplish that and making guys better players, better people, better basketball players. And then, I can live with that. The result is always to fight as long as you can. And that's what we did. And I can live with results of guys leaving on the floor every single night. And I'm okay with that.
Fred.
Russell, you've obviously known Scotty for a really long time. What was it like now that you're done with the year? What was it like having gone through this reunion year with him? And what did you think of the job he did this year?
Oh, man, it was amazing. Scotty has always been real close to me throughout my career. And to be reconnected with him was just a blessing overall. And this year, man, he did a hell of a job. He did a job that I'm pretty sure people didn't think he was able to do. He kept us together. He kept us encouraged. He kept us fighting. He don't get a lot of credit for it, but like I've always mentioned, he deserves a lot of credit for putting us in position to be successful. Obviously we made some plays and did some things, but he put us in position. He put the things down to make sure that we're able to do every single night. And I'm thankful just to have a coach that trusts and believes so much in my abilities to allow me to go out and, play my game, make mistakes, and find ways to better help, this team. And, he should be, applauded for the job he's done, with this ball club.
DA.
Oh, shit.
Whether it's with the group that's already there or that's already in your locker room, or if there need to be additions, what do you think the next step is? How does this team get to the next level?
I think we obviously got a lot of guys that we all got to come back better. But not just that. They're young, man. We got guys. It's funny. I was on the plane on the way here, and I'm talking to Rui and Daniel and Garrison, these guys, and I'm at Cash, like, how old are you? They're like 21, 22, 20. I'm just like, and I'm not even thinking about it when I thought about it. When I got to my room, it's like, man, we got so many young guys. Denny, he was out, but he's 19, 20. It's important that they understand what it's like now to be in the playoffs, understand what it's like to be able to fight, understand what it's like to be able to not take nights off. And that's a part of my job, is to make sure that I'm here to make sure that that's instilled in them, that they understand that the little games we lost early in the year, those matter. The nights where you may be a little tired, those nights, those games matter. And with that, we still fought through and got ourselves in the playoffs. But understanding the importance of coming back each year better and being better players and being better pros is important, for our group.
You were really tight with Rui at times during the season. What does he got to bring back when he goes into the lab this summer?
I mean, Rui has so many different tools, man. He's so good and so talented. My challenge to him is to be able to try to do it every night. I think that's the most difficult thing to do in this league, and that's my challenge for him, is because when he's able to do it at a level, we're a much better team. We're a better team when he's playing his best and just, leaving it out on the floor. So that's going to be my challenge for him.
Scott.
Hey, Russ, you obviously know the NBA is a business, but you're one of the leaders of this team, and you know the pulse of the locker room, the direction this team could be heading. Do you think it would be a mistake if the Wizards decide not to bring back Scott Brooks?
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as management, as far as ownership, that's not my decision. Me personally, I don't see why Scotty should go anywhere. And not just because, we're close, but he's done a hell of a job with our team, our program, since I've been here, and I'm just around our team and the coaching staff, understanding how important his impact, was to this organization. And when I got here, I was able to see it, firsthand. He's still the same Scott, Coach Brooks, and he brings the intensity brings the effort like he was playing, but he's a coach, and that's something you can't teach. That's something you can't have. So it was up to me. I don't think you should go anywhere.
Russ, you've been on a lot of different teams over your career. What do you appreciate most about this group of players you just played with this year?
Nobody quit, and to me, that shows so much when you have a group of guys that when everybody said that we weren't able to do something and got challenged, and I challenged everybody in the locker room. Nobody quit. Nobody gave up. Nobody gave in. We got a lot of guys on this team, man, that I'm just proud of overall that teams didn't want. They were third guys, G League guys, first year guys that nobody else wanted. And we put together a team that people wasn't afraid to play us, honestly. And, that's something we should be proud of. And I'm super proud of everybody in the locker room and just thankful to be able to have a group of guys that embrace me so well, from day one.
Ben standing.
Hey, Russell, it's sort of as like a follow-up to that. Like you said, obviously ownership and management's going to make whatever decisions are ultimately going to come. But as a player of your stature in this league who's been around and done what you've done, do you anticipate having some sort of a voice in the process, or would you like to have one?
I mean, if it was up to me, like I said, Scotty, not going anywhere. It's not even a question or a conversation to even be brought up. But if the conversation is brought to me, I'll definitely voice my opinion like I'm voicing it now, and see what happens.
And as far as the team goes, I know everything just sort of happened, but what's the thing that you guys either need to add or the thing to do for you guys to get to the next step?
Man, for me, I always, as a player, you always look around and you try to figure out what you need and how to get better and blah, blah, blah. I really believe in me as a player and believe that you play the cards you dealt. And what I mean by that is that whoever's on the roster, whoever's here, and then we just figure it out. And to me, that's just how I think. I can't control. This is a business. I can't control who comes back, who's traded, who's not. And I can't control what we have, but I can control my actions and how I can help the people in the locker room and the cards that we have to make us the best team possible.
Chase.
Russ, after playing one season with this team and in this city, what do you think about just moving forward with them and building a future? Obviously, you had such a strong connection with your first franchise.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great, man. Obviously, COVID started off, it was a little different, couldn't do much, had to stay inside a lot, but opening up now a little bit and being able to enjoy the city, see more people, and see the fans. It's really been great, man. I'm looking forward to, especially next year, having kind of everything settled down and back to normal. And I'm looking forward to it.
All right, last question to Matt Paris.
Yeah. Russell, just following up on that, just how differently does the end of this year feel? How differently does the end of this year feel compared to, I don't know, coming out of Houston or even your last year in OKC, just having that? Is there more security there or anything like that?
I mean, listen, I can't control what happens. All I can do is just show up to work and do my job. And with that, that's all I can do. Be professional, make sure I come back a better player. And that's all I can do.
Thank you.
All right, Russ, appreciate you.
Thanks.
Ava.
Brad, Scott said that you and Russ spoke up a little bit in the locker room there. What was the message you wanted to leave the guys with?
First, I want to praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for this season, for a healthy year, and everything like that. But for the most part, man, it was just re-emphasizing, nobody should be, holding their heads down. Nobody really put us to be in the position we're in. Nobody expected us to be here, and I don't think anybody, sure enough, didn't think we'd take them to 5. I still strongly in my heart believe we could have took them to 7. They made more plays than we did, got more stops than we did tonight. But I mean, my message is, the ultimate thing was remember this feeling. A lot of guys, is their first time in the playoffs. So understand that, once, all the games during the season matter, especially the ones in your conference. playing against Charlotte, playing against Atlanta, playing against Orlando. Those games we gave up earlier in the year, they count at the end of the year. So just keeping that in the back of our head and, understanding how we can better prepare ourselves and better put ourselves in a better position in the playoffs, having home court, having that mindset of being that caliber team, a playoff team. And so it was a good first go around for a lot of guys. It was definitely frustrating because we all want to do well and we all want to, contribute as best as we can. But, just remember the feeling and get in the gym. That's all we can do.
And all that being said, obviously, I'm sure you don't want to address it now, but do you see that you have a future with this organization? You said at the beginning of the season you wanted to see that they could put a winning infrastructure in place. Did they do enough to entice you to stay?
I haven't even. We're not gonna think about that or even talk about it right now. The biggest thing for me is we battled the whole year. We didn't start off the year the way we wanted to. It was frustrating all around for everybody. I was frustrated at times, but I'm a very optimistic and I persevered through a lot of adversity, and I think we did that as a team. So for me, I think we just best put ourselves in a position to win, and we may do with what we had at times. We had a lot of guys out, a lot of different lineups throughout the year. So for the most part, I was happy with that. I was happy with the fact we competed and, we gave ourselves a chance at the end of the year. We obviously still need to get better. There's still we have a lot of room for improvement all across the board, but I haven't thought about none of that as of yet, Abel. Sorry.
Chase.
Brad, Russ just said that he'd like to see Scott Brooks back next year. Obviously, his contract, this was the final year. Just what did you think about the job that he did this season?
Man, it's just crazy. I've been with Scott, 5 years now, and every year's been different. And, he coaches his tail off. He goes out there and he's all about his team. He supports us and defends us and wants us all to do well. He's a true player's coach. And you don't see that often around the league. And, I've been appreciative of him. I feel like he's, from the moment he got here, a facilitator, creator. He gave me the opportunity to be able to make plays and he put the ball in my hands. So I'll forever be grateful for him. And happy that I was able to, share these 5 years with him. Obviously, this is his last year. We don't know what the future holds. Obviously we talk to Ted, talk to Coach, in the next couple of days and even Shep and see what we're going to do. But I don't know. That's kind of out of my hands.
And you've been able to step your game up pretty much each of the last 6 years. As you look ahead to this offseason, I know it's just beginning, but what would you like to work on as you look ahead to next year?
I have no idea. I'm still processing this loss. Obviously, my main objective is always to make sure I'm better every year, and whatever that entails, I'm going to definitely take some time off, rest my body, and then, diving back into film, diving back into my game and my craft and figuring out, what's the next step, next level for me. Obviously, I've had a good year, made All-Star, hopefully make All-NBA, whatever the case may be. But, eventually I want to be an MVP caliber player. So maybe that's what's next, just continue to push myself and be in better positions to succeed.
Fred.
Hey, Brad. The fluky stuff of the season aside, the COVID stuff and the injuries and all that, what do you feel like you guys as a team need to improve on going into next year?
Our defense. We gotta obviously. That's pretty obvious. We gotta defend better. We have to shoot better. We got to be able to shoot the ball better. I definitely wish I would have had a better 3-point shooting year than I had, but I think that goes for everybody. We got to be better with shooting the ball and defending. I think that's been our kind of Achilles heel all year. Our ability to be able to guard guys and knock down shots. So we got to be better at that.
Yeah.
Brad, just wondering, a couple of years ago, the organization decided we're going to have to do things a little differently in terms of bringing some young guys in and doing that. And there was kind of uncertainty about what it was going to look like going forward. I wonder how different you feel about things going forward, knowing that Westbrook is going to be beside you now, and his impact on the team will continue going forward.
Like I said earlier, I haven't thought past tonight, but having Russ here was unbelievable. I've done nothing but cherish his presence since the moment he got here, and he's done nothing but welcome me with open arms and vice versa. So. That's promising, in a lot of ways. You definitely, especially for somebody who wants to be here too, that definitely lifts me up in a lot of ways. But we both know we got to be better. We both know we have to be, the leaders of the organization, and guide us a lot better than what we did. So I don't know. I haven't thought past it, honestly. Past the night, but Russ is a good cornerstone to any franchise. Then we made some really good moves, adding Gafford, who's been a great lob threat rim protector for us. The whole second half of the year, Rolo's the hook king for us. We had a lot of guys, in the last year of their contracts who went out here and gave it their all and competed their tails off. So obviously we have a lot of tough decisions to make in the off season, but with the guys that we had. They really stepped up and performed. We seen Rui grow the whole year, and everybody, everybody really stepped up when it mattered. So
yeah.
You can always be appreciative of that.
I know recruiting is kind of an ongoing thing, and it never really stops. You feel like you are able to make a pitch now to free agents? Like we got something here. This thing's going in the right direction now.
I hope so. Obviously. Hopefully teams watch us and, see what we're capable of doing and see how we compete. We're a very competitive team. We don't care who it is. Everybody laces their shoes up just like we do, and we're going to go out and we're going to compete and play hard and get out and play fast. That's who we are and that's what we do. DC is an unbelievable market, true sports town. So I don't see why nobody wouldn't want to be interested in coming to DC. Obviously, recruiting is definitely tough. It's ongoing, like you said. So I'm definitely looking forward to the summer. And, my recruiting will definitely start tonight or tomorrow. But for the most part, it's just taking a break and just, reflecting on the year and see how we can be better moving forward and how our team can be better.
Matt Paris.
Hey, Brad, as DA was saying, obviously there have been a lot of changes, and the end result, from the last time you guys made the playoffs, is still the same, a first-round exit. So I guess does it feel different now being in the moment? Like, does it feel any different compared to the last time that you were in the playoffs and your season ended the way you didn't want it
to? Yeah, I feel like they're definitely two different series. I think that Toronto series, I don't know, I feel like they kind of whooped our butt every game in that series. And this one, I feel like we were in control of a lot of it, and we were in it. So, and they're two totally different teams too. So, on both sides. So, I'm definitely. You can be proud of what we did, but obviously there's no moral victories. So you tip your hat off to Philly, who they came out and executed their game plans on a nightly basis, and they got us out of here.
And you know how kind of the machine works of there are going to be articles about your future and you'll do the best to ignore that, et cetera, et cetera. But I guess just being in this situation for so long now that you have been, because it's been going on for a while, just what have you learned from actually having to deal with that? And is there anything you learned specifically this year about kind of the gravity of rumors or everything like that?
Ultimately, I'm in control. Like I think that's my biggest thing is, people can report whatever they want, but, I know where my mind is, and I know, if it's not coming from the horse's mouth, then it's just going to be rumors. So, I expect them. They're starting now. So, I mean, it doesn't change anything. I mean, they're definitely going to increase a lot more this year when we going into the last year of my deal. But for me, I'm relaxing and, resting my body, and, we'll evaluate all that, once summer comes. I meet with Ted, meet with Shep.
Neil.
Hey, Brad, I know you do a much more thorough assessment and reflection on the season, in the coming weeks. But when you look back right now and everything you guys have gone through, do you look at the season positively? You talked a lot about, getting back to having fun. Is that something that you feel came back this season?
Always, man. I think that's one thing I always try to remind, my teammates and anybody who plays the game, even my AU kids. Like, it's easy to lose sight of why you play the game. Because whether you're pressing or whether you want to do so well to win or contribute to the team, it's very easy to lose sight of, why you play the game, when you were 5, 6, it's because it was fun. You embraced it. You loved it. Nothing changes from being, at the highest level ever. So, it's the same motto, same mentality, embracing the stage you're on, understanding and trusting your work. You worked your tail off to be where you are. So have fun in the game, go out and give it your all and understand that you put in the work to be where you are and just let it go out there and shine.
And obviously you've been, very complimentary of Russ before. This will be your first season after playing with him, going to the off season. Do you think that his mentality that he's instilled with you can even help you take your off season game to another level?
Oh, for sure. Just his persona, who he is and what he's about, is all exemplary. You take pieces of what he does and his approach to the game and his focus and his confidence, and you definitely try to, mix it into what you have going. So it's been great, man. It was an easy adjustment for me to play off of him. It's so crazy to hear all the rumors of how difficult he would be with, to play with, but it's been the complete opposite. He's been very heartwarming. He's a great teammate, and he just competes. He wants to win, and those are the guys I want to be surrounded by. So it's only the stepping stone.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah.
Last question to Ben.
Hey, Brad. There's a saying that comic book fans know: with great power comes great responsibility. This organization has entrusted you with a lot of power from a standpoint of really kind of building the team around you these last couple of years. I'm just wondering, from everything you've experienced, what have you learned about that responsibility, and how do you think you've ultimately handled it?
I think I've handled it good or solidly. I understand that not everybody in the league has power and control, or let's say so, in the organization. So it's something I don't take for granted. It's something that I'm very appreciative of and thankful for. And just understanding the history of this organization and, going from, John to transitioning to me, like it's been wild, but I embrace every single step and every moment of it. And, not, like I said before, not everybody has that opportunity to be, a franchise cornerstone or that piece that, they look to build around. So, I don't take it for granted that, that just motivates me and pushes me to get better and be better. I still have a lot I can be better at and improve on in terms of my leadership and what I do on the floor. But for the most part, man, I was pretty satisfied.
All right, Brad. Appreciate you, man.
Daniel, I don't know if you've even had a chance to really think about this yet, but how would you summarize this year for yourself, considering how eventful it was in so many ways? And would you consider this season for you guys a success?
It was just a lot of up and down for me. It was I would say a lot of, discouragement when it came to just what I was able to do for a team in any situation. I was at Chicago and I was just trying to figure out that situation and just basically figure out me and be able to do the things that I could do to be successful on the team in Chicago, certain things like that. Then I got traded. And, this is no disrespect to Chicago. I love Chicago, from coaches, staff, players, anybody. Chicago, I felt like was home for the, year and a half that I was there. But it's a business part of it. And then coming here to Washington, like I tell everybody, it was a new start for me. So just all the events, certain things that I did, that all happened because of just, the opportunity that I was given here. I just came here, I locked in mentally, and I decided that I wasn't going to take anything for granted. I had an opportunity in Chicago, and I took that for granted. So I just came and locked in, and I took care of my business here. I didn't want to go back down the road that I was going to Chicago. I felt like every day I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do to be successful on that team. And I felt like I was holding the team back night in, night out. And I'm pretty sure like it's a lot of people that were saying the same thing. So once again, like I came here to Washington, and it was just, a whole different story for me. Just decided to lock in, come out and play hard every night. It's a lot of things that just showed me that whenever I just actually take the opportunity and work during that opportunity, I'll be fine. That's my main thing.
And what do you feel like heading into the off season? What do you feel like is the aspect of your game that you're going to try to work on the most?
Most definitely just, add as much weight as I can possibly do. It was a lot of games and stuff that I was exposed down low. I was getting pushed around. I take pride in doing things like that because, I battle with guys like tonight I was battling with Dwight Howard. I battled with Joel Embiid, battling with guys that are nine times out of 10 times bigger than me. So I want to be in a position to where, I can push guys around too. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, just really just putting on some pounds for sure. Working on my conditioning because I'm getting the minutes that, that I'm working for, and I can't be out there gassed. So, if I want to play 20 plus minutes every night, my conditioning has to be top tier. So that's really going to be a big thing for me. And just really just, working on little things, if I catch the ball in the paint, being able to dribble it and not, get it stolen or anything like that. I have worked on that before, but it's just like, I do it in the game and I get hesitant, and it's a lot of just, I'm just stuck in the moment and I can't really do anything about it. So those are the main three things, really just working on that conditioning, strength, and really just being about better decision making when it comes to me playing out of the pocket.
Jason.
Hey, Daniel, we've heard that Russ and Brad addressed the team after the game in the locker room about how you guys should be proud about the way the season went. What did they say, and what was your takeaway from that?
Yeah, they said we should be proud because of the things that we did this season. They didn't nobody give up, didn't nobody, lay down and just accept the fact that, we were going to be out of the playoffs or anything like that. Like when I came here, there was no there was no like head down, bad vibes, anything. We came out and we played for something every night. It was some ups and downs during that time, so it was a lot of losses that we felt like we shouldn't have lost. But other than that, we just kept fighting. We stayed together as a team and we helped each other, motivated each other, and just came in with smiles on our faces and came in ready to work. We knew what time it was every time we stepped on the floor. And being there for each other as a team, that was the main thing that helped us get through it. We stayed together. We stayed locked in as a unit. And we got to where we are today. We hate the outcome of it. But at the same time, we had there was a very low percent chance of the Wizards being in the playoffs. And we changed that. We changed that narrative. We started from the ground up and worked our way back up to be in this position that we were in today. Like I said, we hate that we lost, but, we worked to get in this position.
And Coach Brooks was talking about you and said he views you as sort of like a lottery pick. I think he said maybe even like a top 5 pick. Now that you've had some success in this league at 22, just what do you think about your own potential?
If I stay locked in mentally, work on my consistency, I can be in this league for a long time. There's probably a lot of people in the world that probably would, disagree with that. But That's their opinion. My opinion is that I'm gonna make it in this league. It's just that.
Yeah.
Hey, Gaff, I was wondering, what do you think? You said you wanted to try to put on a little bit of weight this summer. What do you think you can hold and still maintain your athleticism?
I don't know. I hadn't really even thought about that. But you know, I'm gonna push myself to the limit for sure. Get as big as I can.
And you know, you brought a verticality to this team that they didn't have this year. What's, I guess, defensively, other than being able to hold your spot down in the post, are there other things that you want to work on defensively, especially, that you think you can get better at?
Most definitely guard 1 through 5. I mean, tonight, you know, Ben Simmons, I was having to guard Ben Simmons most of the times on the floor, and he was just going at me. You know, Tobias Harris, he was going at me. Anybody that I was guarding, you know, they were going at me. It was times where I stood my ground, but most of the times I was getting blown by, getting a layup shot on me, or I was fouling. So just being better defensively, working on just being able to contain 1 through 5. Because, I mean, there's going to be a lot of situations to where it's going to be guys that try to pull me out and expose me, and I don't want that to happen. I want to be one of those bigs that can be able to guard every position when it comes down to it.
Matt Paris.
Hey Daniel, I'm kind of curious, like for your conditioning. I mean, if you add weight, will you being heavier, like will that affect the conditioning aspect of it at all? Like, are you worried that kind of putting on too much weight will affect like whether you'd be winded in games or anything like that?
There's no telling. You know, I mean, that would be something that I would have to deal with when the time comes, I would say. And if it comes to that, you know, I'm going to have to cut them pounds off.
Yeah. Thanks.
Neil.
Hey, Daniel, obviously, you know, it's been a crazy 3+ months for you coming here. You had the injury as well. When Russ and Brad are, you know, constantly in your ear and, you know, motivating you, how much, you know, extra does that make you want to go into the offseason and come back even better?
It motivates me a lot. You know, you got 2 great players and you're saying that you can do a lot in this league, you know, and just really just remain consistent and stay motivated. It means a lot because that's exactly what I'm about to go to. You know, take this little break. You know, it's been somewhat of an up and down season for me in general. But other than that, once I get my break out of the way, I'm back in the gym, working out for sure, just working on my craft because I want to be the best I can be year in, year out. I don't want to, you know, just have this good second half of the season that I've had and then come back next year and then what happened to Daniel Gafford. I don't want that to happen. So most definitely my mentality is to get as better as I possibly can during the offseason because, you know, just coming back next year, we want to be the best we can be. We want to be playing in the same spot that we were in this year for sure, maybe even higher. So, you know, sky's the limit at this point. You know?
Matt, did you have one more?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Oh, you're just doing a Fred cameo? All right. All right, Daniel. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good one.